who is the stylist, I mean, the costume designer on Gossip Girl. But anyone who works with me, it's like drinking through a fire hose. You're like, well, I come in and I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. But it's just because I really, I find that fashion is storytelling. It's a way to message so much more than you can with words sometimes. It's a silent way to message things. So the way that I come into a character is always through the fashion and through the costumes. So,
saw in another interview you said that Ryan, actually, your husband Ryan Reynolds, wrote part of that rooftop scene. Is that true?
Yeah, that's, I mean, I would have to compare it to the original one, but that's 99% his. Yeah, he just added, I mean, Chrissy Hall wrote an incredible screenplay. It was, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this film, but also, there are natural tweaks and modifications that come in when the actor is hired and you're trying to infuse your own personality and your own authenticity. And it's like, women are people of multitudes. And, I think that it was important to me that it didn't just feel like someone's interpretation of like female gaze. Like it really was, this is what we like, this is what we listen to, this is what makes us feel the vibes. And we had an incredible music supervisor, Season Kent, and one of our editors, Shane Reed, who, fun fact, he was my editor on Taylor's music video that I directed. And I was obsessed with him. And I was like, this guy is amazing. And he never edited a movie before. He just finished Deadpool and Wolverine, and he came on and helped us with this one. And he has incredible taste in music. And we share the same composer as well from Deadpool and Wolverine. So there's a lot of sharing.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, two of Hollywood's biggest power players, are facing a potential career crisis. A massive $400 million lawsuit has been filed against them in federal court, and today, the judge's ruling didn't go in their favor. Blake Lively's once promising career is rapidly unraveling, and it all began with her ill-fated decision to promote It Ends With Us. The film, based on Colleen Hoover's novel, is a dark and harrowing story about Lily, a woman stuck in an abusive marriage with Ryle. Fans were outraged when Lively marketed the film as a feel-good girls' night out movie, completely overlooking the brutal reality at its core. Instead of acknowledging the backlash, Lively doubled down, using the controversy to plug her hair care line, alcohol brand, and designer jeans. This tone-deaf move only fueled the fire. Now the situation has escalated into a massive legal battle. On one side, Lively is suing director Justin Baldoni, accusing him and his production company, Wayfarer Studios, of creating a toxic and hostile work environment. She claims she was the victim of serious misconduct and inappropriate behavior during filming. If that wasn't enough, she also alleges that Baldoni's team launched a smear campaign to damage her reputation. The drama reached a boiling point when the New York Times published an article portraying Baldoni as the villain in this Hollywood feud. As a result, Baldoni lost his agent at WME, got dropped from his podcast, and saw major film deals vanish overnight. His entire career is now hanging by a thread, all because of Lively's allegations. With lawsuits flying in both directions, it's anyone's guess who will come out on top.
Literally not done. So to be honest, what really happened is we were like, we're going to show the movie, and the studio was like, no, you're going to show 20 minutes. So we're like, no, we're going to show the movie. And they're like, it's not done. And I was like, sure. They're like, if everything's not perfect and it's not done, and what if we're going to change things? I was like, oh, we want it to go well. I literally brought the movie with me on the airplane. I have a folder with a disc, a hard drive.
Blake Lively has filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni for a staggering $250 million, accusing him of orchestrating a smear campaign designed to destroy her career. Baldoni, however, is firing back vehemently, denying all allegations of defamation, misconduct, and smear tactics. Instead, Baldoni claims that it is Lively who is playing dirty, using these accusations as a strategy to take control of his movie rights for the sequel It Starts With Us, which is based on the book It Ends With Us. According to Baldoni, this battle isn't about justice, but about gaining creative control over the highly anticipated project, with Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, allegedly colluding to steal the movie rights from him. The courtroom drama has quickly escalated, with the latest battle focusing on a gag order. Lively is attempting to prevent Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, from publicly commenting on the case, accusing him of defaming her and turning the case into a media circus. However, Friedman is standing firm, claiming that he had no choice but to respond publicly, especially after Lively allegedly leaked confidential legal documents to the New York Times. That bombshell article from December created massive fallout for Baldoni, leading to the loss of his agent at WME, the cancellation of his podcast, and significant damage to his business empire. The case has divided public opinion. Supporters of Lively argue that no woman should have to endure such allegations in the workplace. But Baldoni's team maintains that he is the real victim here, blindsided by a scandal that is threatening to undo everything he's built. As the legal war intensifies, a shocking new development has emerged thanks to Brian Friedman's aggressive legal strategy. He launched a comprehensive website filled with evidence, including timelines, emails, text messages, videos, and legal documents, all of which suggest that Lively weaponized false allegations of misconduct to take control of the movie. According to the evidence, whenever Lively didn't get her way, she escalated her accusations against Baldoni and his team. However, a critical piece of evidence appears to undermine Lively's story. She allegedly admitted that the misconduct stopped once filming resumed in 2024. But Lively's narrative is shifting again. She now claims that the backlash she received for making tone-deaf comments about domestic violence during the movie's promotional run was somehow Baldoni's fault. Lively's opponents see this as a calculated power move, with some even labeling her behavior as narcissistic retaliation when things don't go her way. In court, Lively's team was pushing hard for the gag order, but they were dealt a blow when the judge denied the request. Gag orders are notoriously difficult to obtain in federal court, as the press has a right to access public records, and judges rarely grant such orders. With the gag order denied, the battle continues, and the evidence against Lively is mounting. While Lively's Hollywood star power may protect her in some ways, it's clear that Baldoni has lost far more. His career, reputation, and projects are all hanging by a thread due to the fallout from this lawsuit. The case is far from over, and as it unfolds, the stakes for both parties continue to rise. The legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni continues to escalate in dramatic fashion, with both sides accusing each other of serious misconduct and manipulation. In today's federal court session, things took a turn for the worse for Lively, as her team suffered multiple setbacks. One of the key developments was that the judge denied the request for a gag order, which Lively's legal team had hoped would silence Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman. The judge made it clear that such orders are difficult to obtain in federal court and reminded Friedman to adhere to conduct rules, but allowed him to continue making his case in the public eye. The drama intensified when it was revealed that Lively allegedly took control of the production of It Ends With Us, despite not having any official creative role beyond her acting and Vanity executive producer credit. Baldoni and his team claim that she effectively hijacked the project, making decisions on editing, wardrobe, and marketing without proper approval, and ultimately positioned herself as the one running the show. Evidence is mounting, with video footage of Lively herself admitting on a podcast to rewriting scenes and taking charge of production decisions. This could be a major blow to her defense. One of the most explosive pieces of evidence was related to the wardrobe choices for the film. Lively allegedly scrapped an already purchased wardrobe and brought in her own stylist, resulting in an additional $500,000 spent on her personal vision. She also handpicked her own composer and even hired an unqualified editor, further complicating the production process. Perhaps the most shocking revelation is that Lively is accused of leaking a rough cut of the movie to a major book event without approval, disregarding strict studio distribution agreements. This action potentially jeopardized the film's release and deals, raising serious concerns about her control over the project. In addition, it was claimed that she had Baldoni's name removed from promotional posters and attempted to sideline him in the press, further adding to the evidence that she was positioning herself as the film's true leader. The narrative around Lively's alleged marketing missteps is also coming into play. After facing backlash for promoting her own business ventures while discussing a movie centered on domestic violence, Lively allegedly sought to shift the blame to Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios. Court filings show that she and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, pushed for a statement that would absolve her of the criticism, placing the responsibility on Baldoni's team instead. This tactic is raising doubts about her sincerity and adding fuel to the claims that she is using the situation to manipulate public opinion. In the courtroom, Lively's legal strategy appears to be faltering. She is now trying to avoid being deposed by Baldoni's attorney, arguing that she feels uncomfortable facing someone who has defamed her character. However, the judge dismissed this request, emphasizing that in a legal battle, she must answer tough questions, no matter how uncomfortable. The case is starting to feel like a high-stakes battle between Hollywood power players, with Baldoni and his smaller production company, Wayfarer Studios, pitted against Lively's team, which includes major industry figures like Ryan Reynolds. Many observers are beginning to feel that Lively and her team have been bullying their way through this legal war to gain control, and the evidence against her is piling up. As this legal drama unfolds, it's clear that the stakes are incredibly high. With new evidence emerging, the courtroom clash between Lively and Baldoni could soon reach a tipping point. This case is no longer just a legal dispute. It's a public spectacle with serious consequences for both parties. This legal drama continues to take shocking turns, with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds facing increasing scrutiny over their actions. The key revelation here is that they allegedly attempted to shift the blame for Lively's PR disaster onto Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios after facing intense backlash over their marketing missteps. Instead of taking responsibility for their own actions, they reportedly tried to force Baldoni and his team to issue a statement that would absolve Lively of any wrongdoing. When Baldoni and Wayfarer refused, Lively and Reynolds are said to have shifted tactics, with Lively reportedly working with the New York Times to orchestrate a smear campaign against Baldoni. The situation now appears even more calculated, with Lively and Reynolds potentially trying to get ahead of Baldoni's own impending lawsuit, which could expose the truth. The idea is that their lawsuit might be a strategic move to flip the script and preemptively control the narrative. However, with mounting evidence against them, it seems the tide is turning against Lively. The accusations of manipulation, deceit, and career sabotage could have serious consequences for Lively and Reynolds in Hollywood. While it's not certain whether this will be the end of Lively's career, the damage could be significant, especially if the public perception shifts further against them. Justin Baldoni, on the other hand, may have emerged victorious from today's court session. If the evidence keeps coming to light in his favor, it could be a major win for him, both in the court of law and public opinion. Whether this is the final nail in Blake Lively's career remains to be seen, but it's clear that the battle is far from over. What do you think? Do you feel like this legal war is going to be a game changer for both sides?